sits alone on her golden throne. Her fiery breath keeps the shadows at bay. The red dragon guards what none can take away. Her wings gleam red like the dying sun, a story whispered but never undone. Eyes like embers in the cave, soft hue, a queen in her keep, noble and true. Oh, keeper of treasures untold, bound to your cavern of dazzling gold, a fiery heart that no one can tame. You are the guardian of the flame. The echoes tell of warriors who dared, but none survived the fury she bared. They sought her wealth, but forgot her soul. The flame eternal is her only goal. Does she dream of stars beyond the stone, or is the cave her eternal home? The world outside she may never see, bound to the treasure by destiny.
Well, the Karen curse strikes again. Looks like I forgot to turn my microphone on for the last part. Well, hopefully you could tell what I was doing, despite the fact you couldn't actually hear me. So I am going to just kind of put some of this here and there. So I want it to look like tortoiseshell-ish. I've got a few different colours to use. I'm just going to kind of splat it on here and there. Look at this one, which is the darkest colour I'm using, I think. And it is, what is it? Red, orange, yellow. Oops, need some in the small turtle as well. Hoping this isn't going to look like too much of a mess when it comes out, but hopefully, because these are chameleon colours, once I've blended them together, hopefully it'll give a nice effect. I don't want to rub that in too much because I'm just going to splatter some more on. What have I got? This is flashing brown, red, purple, which I don't think is that much different from that initially before we put the colour behind it. It should end up looking very different when I put the back coat on, hopefully. Too much on there. And a little in this one. I'll try not to be quite so heavy-handed in here because obviously the mould is much smaller. I'm trying not to move the mould because I know where it is now is fairly decently in shot. I cannot believe I forgot to turn the microphone on again. This is what happens when you have a couple of days off and you kind of get out of your little routine. This is champagne gold green. Dollop. Dollop it here, there and everywhere. Bit too big of a dollop, isn't it? Make sure I've got a little bit pretty much everywhere. And with this one, there's just one more colour. Yeah, I've had a couple of days off filming because I've had family and friends over. And a bit rude to kind of just lock myself away in the craft room and have guests. Especially since my sister and her friend were only here for 2 nights. Dana and her husband were here for a week and a bit, so she actually was in the craft room with me for quite a bit of that time. This one is, what have I got? Purplish red, blue, green. This will be the last colour going on. Bit of a cough as well. I'm just hoping it doesn't all blend together in one muddy mess, but I'm hoping that because I'm kind of lodging it directly onto the mould and not just chucking it in, when I blend it, it'll just blend the colours together without taking too much away from each. I don't think I've ever done anything quite like this before, so I think I ought to leave it there-ish. So let's get the lid back on this, because otherwise I will knock it over. I'm good at that. If I can get the lid back on. And now I need, where's my blusher brush? Right, so I have a soft blusher brush. I'm just going to work it all in. Now it's all looking pretty much the same colour from this side. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case when it comes out. And again with this one, just give it a good work in. So I'm going to brush off the excess, mix my resin up, and I will be back with you very soon. See you in a sec. Hi guys, so I've got the loose powder brushed off. I've got 200 grams of resin pro eye crystal mixed up here, and I'm going to use this extra black pigment paste. And yet again, I forgot to warm it up, so it's going to be a pain to get out. It's very good though, despite the fact that it came from Temu. As you can probably tell, I've got a lot of micro bubbles in my resin because I didn't have time to warm it up before I started working. What I should have done is mixed it and stuck it on the heat mat, but oh, I'm short of time and all that. Now I did put just 2 blobs in here. It mixes in very quickly, very smoothly, and it's very opaque. Now there's 2 things. I know that what I've mixed is not going to be enough to do these turtles, but also because of the depth of the mould, and it is finally getting warm. here in Spain. I don't want to risk a flash cure by pouring it just in resin. I don't know why I'm wiping that off, and I'll be using it again in a second. So I'm going to be using this filler. It's kind of sand, but it's quite a coarse sand. It's a vase filler, really. I should split this down into 2 pots, but too late. I'll put quite a bit in there. Now, I like to mix the sand into the resin rather than vice versa. I just find it mixes easier, less a problem with bubbles, which obviously you can see lots of rising from the sand. Hopefully I'll be able to edit out the scrunchy noises. I think now that I've got putting sand into it, I think I'm going to have far too much, but that's better than not enough. If I've got too much, I can put it into another mould. If I haven't got enough, then I have to go and mix more, and then I get sad. There's still room for more in there. So finish up that pot. Sorry for banging the camera again. I have got another pot just at the side here if this isn't enough sand. And it's not for the consistency I was looking for. I will very likely speed through this part for you as well. Yeah, I'm going to give that just a couple of minutes for the bubbles to rise, and I will be back as soon as I'm ready to pour. See you in a sec. Okay, so this has had about 5 minutes now, and I'm sure you can see there are still quite a lot of small bubbles rising to the surface. Some of the, what you can see on the surface there isn't bubbles, it's actually floating bits of sand. But because it's starting to get warm, I don't want to risk waiting any longer to pour it. So I say pour, it's more like spooning really, but I've got way more than I actually need. That's okay. Leave that there for a second. So you can see more bubbles rising now. So I want to make sure that there aren't any trapped in his head or in his tail. Give him another quick spray. And to be careful because I don't want to wash the powder off the mould. I can't actually see any bubbles trapped in his head or his tail at the moment. Sorry, my cup is in your way for you to see how well it's filling. More of the thicker resin in there with the sand. Oops, dropping it on my mat. I'm actually very nearly full there. Off the cup. Where it ends up all over my clothes. I mean, I do have resin wear, as I call it. Pretty much everything I wear when I come into the garage has resin or pigment paste or something all over it. Oh, and I was doing so well there. we're almost at capacity. I won't be putting this over onto the heat mat because, as I said, it is a lot deeper than this resin is intended to go. So I'm just going to, before he's completely full, I'm just going to move him to the side. I'll check balance in a minute, because I've just moved him and now he's disturbed it. So let's get the little one done as well. Need some more runny resin in there as well. Otherwise this is going to end up with full of bubbles. Letting that run down into the head. So I'm going to get him filled up, fill up the other one, pop the leftovers into another mould. And I've got quite a lot of leftovers, so I think I know what I'm going to do with this. Just need to make very sure I'm not trapping any bubbles in his head or his tail. Head seems fine. The tail has got a little bubble in it, but if I stop dripping my resin on my mat and get it into the right place. Yep, the tail has filled up now, so that's fine. I will be topping this off a little bit, but I'm just waiting for the bubbles to rise up first. Oh, dollops, dollops. This one I could have done with just plain resin without the filler, but because of the size, but because I already had it mixed, just made sense to use the same for both. We're going to need quite that much. They're almost up to the edges. Okay, so I'm going to watch this for a little while. Pop any bubbles, top it off if and when I need to. Get this into another mould before it goes off. And I will see you very soon for the demould. Bye! Bye all, it's demolding time. I'm excited. I'm going to start with what I made with the leftovers. And you can already see I've got quite a bit of overspill that I'm going to have to trim up, but I haven't used this mould before either. I'm hoping I didn't get too much bubbles in his ears and things. But the moulds come away clean. So, oh, isn't he got a pretty face? Cute. Yeah, quite a bit to snip off there, but actually, considering it was full of filler, his ears, apart from a tiny blob at the bottom there, and a little bit under his nose, he came out really well. So, very pleased with that. I'll get a face later. So, wish me luck, cross your fingers, all that sort of thing. Start with the small one, obviously. Never used either of these moulds before either, so I'm not sure how easy or otherwise they are to demould. But I will do my best to keep it in shot. Right way round. Oh, I am so pleased. His colours turned out fantastic. His tail is intact. His face looks intact as well. I'm not seeing anything in the way of bubbles in there. So hopefully, Mummy Tortoise will work out just as well as Baby did. It did shrink a little bit in the mould, but not enough to be concerned about. So I'll start with the tail, same as I did with the little one. There we go. Ready, steady. Those colours turned out absolutely fantastic. I am really happy. The face looks bubble free. Let's do the feet and the tail. So, next job, paint the faces. What am I going to use? Let me see if this pen is working. Just a gold chrome pen. No, I'm going to have to dig out another pen. Oh, that's annoying. Because, of course, I put everything away when I tidied up. Oh, that was too thick. Hang on a second. Where's my little thin Eddings pen? It's not that thin, but hopefully thin enough. Oh, excuse me. Oops, just put my finger right on that one. There we go. Now, grab my black pen. It is a bit of a nightmare when you clean up because I can never actually find anything for a while afterwards. Even though I think I put them in the perfect place. I obviously don't. If I can just paint that in. And there we go. It's got a face. I'm going to have to sit down and do the other one. I'll trim up this little boy. I'll get the face is finished. I'll get him trimmed up and paint his eyes on. And I'll get some glamour shots for you. And I will see you all for the next one. I'm so happy. Bye.